Hello there, and welcome to a little introduction on the Sports Pro Branding and Market Impact course. I'm just going to set this up. So I'm just going to take you through, just some of the ideas that we'll be looking at in the course. I've been full time now in the mental side on mindset and mental skills, working in pro sports. Football's a big sport of mine, but I've worked in motor racing, rugby league. I've done a lot of work in Olympics, the Winter Olympics, sports skiing and snowboarding. So I've had quite a lot of experience taking what you've got to offer to the market. And one of the challenges, certainly in my work, is when you're looking at kind of anything psychological or mental skills wise or mindset, it's invisible. So actually the selling part of it becomes even more of a challenge. And I've developed my business over 20 years, and I'm still based here from Inverness, although I've travelled all over the world. So the reason I thought this course would be interesting and useful, not just interesting, useful for you, would be within the sports kind of world. And this is looking at sports, but also probably health and well-being and fitness areas as well. One of the challenges is getting yourself known in a market as well. So one of the great things about the internet, isn't it? There's so much opportunity out there, but there's also so many people doing the same thing as well. So you have to be able to differentiate you and yourself. So I thought it'd be useful to come on and share my experiences over 20 years, really kind of starting a business from scratch, starting a business from literally on the street and building it up from nothing as well to where I'm working at, an international level in multi-sports. So I hope this little introduction, I'll just give you a flavour of what we're kind of going to be looking at. And we're going to be launching a pilot, which will be over 3 weeks. And it'll be kind of 3 weeks of calls once a week, or I'll release the information once a week over 3 kind of big weeks, over 3 weeks, so it's not overwhelming for you. And also I'm considering kind of doing a Q&A within each week as well, and I'm going to keep the pilot pretty low in price at about £97, and there'll be nowhere near that price when I kind of launch it. So if you're interested in this sort of stuff, when I launch it in the next few weeks, this is the time to get it. So let's have a look. So initially, we're going to spend the first week looking at what's your idea. What is your idea for your business? What's your general idea? Now, maybe you're already doing what you want to take to the market. You're a physio, or you're a fitness coach, or you're a nutritionist, or you're into yoga, anything like that. Maybe you're already doing it, or you're doing it within a club and you want to go and develop a private practice. So I'm going to be helping you develop this kind of broad concept of what is your idea you're going to take it to market. Now, from the idea, we want to do kind of a few different things in this week, as well as really kind of be clear about what is your expertise. What's that tip of the spear, I would call it, that differentiates you from the rest of the market. The other thing we're kind of going to look at as well is not just about yourself, is I want you to check, is there any market proof that the service that you're wanting to build and sell, is there a sellable market there? Do people want it? And also get yourself clear on, are you the expert? Are you the expert here, or are you kind of have seen someone else that's already doing it and you can learn from them as well as a little bit further down the road? And that's a bit kind of looking on the shoulders of giants as well. So in the first week we'll be looking at what's your idea, what your experience is, how you can wrap that experiences up and look at the market to see if there actually is a market need for there as well, because it's like on the mental side or mindset, no one buys mindset. People buy the skills and the tools and the insights to solve a problem. So then we're having that general area, and it might be, I'm going to develop a physio business looking at a specific area from the general area on recovering from injury as well. But I'm going to get you to think about what is the package that you are going to offer into the market. Is it one-offs? Is it series? Are you going to offer it online? Are you going to offer it locally, internationally? So really have to help you get clear on what is the package you're going to offer into the market. And what would be your first offering? So by the end of the first week, we're going to get you really clear on what would be that first package that you are going to offer into the market. Now, it might be, a big, hairy, audacious goal. You're wanting to hit the market with a big kind of golden product, or maybe you're wanting to hit the market in a small offering and you're going to go for the low-hanging fruit. We'll help you kind of develop your thinking around that. And, a lot on the first and second week as we're coming off of that, what is the marketing messages you're going to put out to the market? So how are you going to, and marketing a lot of the time is about, how are you going to use words and how are you going to use images to get across what you are offering and the problems you're going to solve. So we'll be speaking a lot about what is the market messaging that you are wanting to put out there into the market. For me, it's a good one to think about. What does your voice sound like in the market? So if anyone's listening from Scotland, you can hear I've got a strong Chukter accent, someone from the Highlands. But what's your voice going to sound like? I'm meaning that is almost metaphorically. Are you going to be loud in the market? Are you going to be humble in the market? Are you going to be an expert voice? Are you going to be a beginner voice? Who are you going to speak to? So what's your voice sound like and how are you going to say it? And finally, what are some of the key messages you're going to put across? So we'll be building on that marketing messages to get a few messages that really you want to get out there and is going to stand for your product and service. And then week 2, we'll look a lot on, which is a huge area now, isn't it? And I'm going to put this out on the social media. So how do you use social media to get your voice across? And it's just a huge opportunity as well. So we'll look at some of the key channels you might want to use. Facebook, Instagram, 2 big ones for me. YouTube, I put my podcasts up on, and LinkedIn I use for specific areas as well. I tend to not use Twitter as much as well, but it's really useful as well, Twitter, if you have the time to get involved in the conversations. So each of these channels here, usually I would say, especially Facebook and Instagram, are intertwined, but you can use them effectively if you've got a strategic vision for your business or service. Okay, and we maybe have a look at then, we will have a look at what's the website you want to develop. Is it going to be a business card for you, or is it going to be a sales website? And I'll talk you through some of the areas that, from the bottom up, getting your domain, where you can host it, ways to build it. And email's a huge thing, how you develop an email list and how you use it effectively to get your message across. Okay, and some of the key sales, in going into week 3, how are you going to sell your product or sale? I would say 90%, if not near 99% of my work is word of mouth. The area I work in is a small area. People tend to know other people and they pass it on. But to start off, are you going to go direct? How do you use direct marketing and offers to get across? And as I spoke about earlier, are you going to use social media and email to move from sales? So remember, marketing facilitates sales, and your sales are going to be solving problems for your clients. Okay, and I've done about 3 or 4 books now. My first one, The 12 Hidden Laws of Performance, is almost like, I would say, my Bible, and I did that almost 10 years ago now, and I learned a lot from doing that and getting it really high up the Amazon charts to a bestseller. So we'll talk about how you put a book out there to get some sort of credibility, what type of book, how you're going to produce it, and how you get there up on Amazon as well. So lots of stuff there. Do you want to launch a podcast? And we'll talk about podcasts. I've had a podcast for just over a year now, I've done about 60 episodes, one a week, and it's just such a great vehicle, using auditory as well, using audio to get your message across. You know, how do you set it up? How do you host it? What equipment do you want to use? How do you get your guests on? How do you record it? And how do you get some distribution channels up there? So we'll talk about the podcast there as well. Okay? And some, you know, leave some time for some extras, you know, that, what is it? You need some business cards. Our business cards is essential as they used to be as well. You know, so we'll look at some extras towards the end. And finally, after 3 weeks or so, and maybe you've launched already, we'll get you ready to launch that business. So I hope that is useful for you, and that's just a kind of flying tour of an overview of the branding course I'm going to be launching in the next few weeks at a pilot for sports pros. So have a good week there, and I hope to see you again. And if you want to come on the course, just drop me a message or actually sign up. I'll put the sign up page underneath.